Hey, Colorado Springs. This is Jenny Bayless, and I am here with my co-host today, Leah Keeling. Leah, how's it going?
Good, Jenny. How are you?
I'm doing great. So we're gonna just do a really easy analysis of a property that one of your clients bought, just to show everyone that there are still deals out here and there are still opportunities for people to buy. Just want to give some examples, some creative examples for everyone to take note of. So
Yes.
this one, an example, is a VA loan, house
Mm-hmm.
hack property, room by room rental. So yeah, can you tell us a little bit about the client and the property?
Yeah. So this client was getting stationed here. He had like 30 days to find something and close. So we had a tight timeline. He did some research on his own before contacting us about house hacking. And he was super interested in that and just knew that that was the best strategy for him. So he called us. We just hit the ground running, looking at properties. I think we looked at maybe 6 or so properties until we came on this one. And so this one just works perfectly for him.
Awesome. So tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about the house itself, and then we'll get into the numbers.
Yeah. So this house is close to the military bases that he's going to be working at. On the east side of Colorado Springs. And the house is a 4 bed, 3 bath. It's a tri level. So really works well for house hacking and, having a couple different common area spaces for tenants. Super clean, beautiful corner lot, and also has an RV parking spot. So I told him that was just a really good bonus that he could get some additional income on.
Yeah.
Super clean house. So the sellers, it had been, I think, under contract once already. Fell out, not due to the house or anything. And then the sellers were getting ready to just take it off and rent it. And I called the listing agent and I was like, no, let us have a shot. This is perfect for us. So we went in with a just super clean, nice offer and got it.
Great. So you guys bought it for 420,000. Is that
Mhm.
what it was listed at?
Yeah, 420.
Okay.
They weren't going to take any less. Um, they just, I think the house was paid off. Um,
Mm,
so we tried doing, like a seller finance. They weren't going to have that. So they
sure.
they weren't super motivated. And so, he was like, they're not going to take any less. So, and I was like, that's totally fair. This house is really nice. So, and then I forgot to mention the very lower level of the house has a really big living area, but it already had like a closet on one side and, it had egress windows and all that. So he's going to turn that into the fifth bedroom.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm
Mhm.
glad that you guys were able to find that. And like you
Yeah.
said, all the kind of the expensive parts were already done. So now you just need
Hmm.
to wall it off and go from
Exactly.
there.
Wall and a door. That was it. That's all he
Perfect.
had to do. Yeah.
So how did inspection go?
It was the cleanest inspection I've ever seen. I think there was like 6 items or something on the inspection report, all just like little cosmetic things. And, he really was wanting something that he could put his touch on. So the house was a bit dated. But I mean, it's definitely rent ready, ready to go now, but it was like
Mhm.
the perfect amount of work for him to put in over time. So he was really excited about that.
That's great. That's like the
Yeah.
perfect combination of
Mhm.
a really well upkept home with a little bit of room for, like you
Mhm.
said, personal touch and kind of go from there. Not necessary, but um, you know, the ability
Yeah.
is there. Did you guys ask for any seller credits when you guys made the offer, or is just a
No.
straight $420,000
Yeah.
offer?
We didn't.
Okay.
I tried talking, to the listing agent about it, and he was like, the only way we could do that is if we like put commission in or something. Like they're not having any of that. And I was like, okay, yeah. Talk to the client, and he's like, no, I'm fine with that. So,
Yeah.
so it was just super clean, easy 420 offer.
Okay. Yeah, and since this is a VA loan,
Hmm.
yeah, his down payment was 0%. So that's something that you don't get to see too often. So
No.
good for him on that. So 0% down.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a mortgage rate of 6.375% for a
Yes.
30-year fix, which in this environment is very, very good.
Yeah. I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about, you mentioned that he's going to eventually put a fifth bedroom in there.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine since the egress and the closet is in there, it should be a fairly nominal amount to get that put in.
Yes. And I'm realizing I didn't put that in our sheet. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Let's say we'll say 5,000 even
Yeah.
though I don't
Mm-hmm.
think it would cost that much.
No, I don't think so either.
So he's all in with all his closing costs and that, that fifth bedroom wall
Mhm.
for less than 10K.
Yeah.
So that's pretty amazing.
Pretty amazing. Yeah.
So what is his monthly rent setup looking like?
So he's gonna rent the primary for 850, and then 100 for the garage space. I told him, I highly recommend using one of those garage spaces for yourself because
Yeah.
hail loves us here in Colorado Springs.
Hmm.
And so I think that's what he's gonna do. So we did 100 on the garage space and then 850 for the primary.
Okay.
And
So
then
we have that in our spreadsheet as 950
mhm,
just because the spreadsheet isn't totally perfect for some of the unique house hacking arrangements. So just kind of bear with us here on that.
yes, and then I did the 3 secondary bedrooms all at 750.
Okay.
So 2250 in that second input spot there.
Hmm.
And then I did 200 for the RV parking, and I kind of just did some research on my own. I'm not sure what he'll get on that, but that seemed to be an average. So
Okay.
yeah, that was the lower end. So
That's great. Yeah, I know there's
mhm,
a lot of garage rental websites that are coming out. So I'd be curious to see, how he fares with that. I imagine that
mhm,
someone will probably take him up on that because it's likely cheaper than at a
yes,
facility.
yep, exactly.
So great. So he's going to be self-managing it since he's going to be living in one of the bedrooms
Hmm.
and he's setting aside 8% for maintenance. I'm
Hmm.
sure, like you mentioned, it's very clean inspection report,
Yeah,
but slightly older home, so got to put money aside for that.
yes,
It is not in an HOA, hence being able to store the RV on site. So there's,
exactly.
two benefits to that.
Hmm.
Um, and then so his real estate taxes and insurance.
Hmm.
Tell us a little bit about that. Did you guys have to kind of do some uh, backwards calculations as to what the new assessed rate is and kind of back into that?
Yeah, I put it a little bit above what it was
Hmm.
last year, so I'm not sure what it'll be, but it might be higher than this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess we'll find out. And
Absolutely.
then his property insurance, gosh, I felt like that was high.
Yeah, that does seem very, very high.
Yeah, and I think he actually took the higher deductible to get the cheaper monthly. So I don't know. I was like, geesh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
The you
That
know
does
it's
seem high, but it's at
hmm
least it's a good representation of kind of what we're seeing. Just
yes.
these two line items are just exploding.
I
And I
know.
admit I was not really, I mean, maybe it was naive of me, but I was not really expecting these two to go up as dramatically as they did
No, so
between,
quickly.
last year and next year. It's like, whew, that's very, very drastic.
Mhm,
So yeah, so just kind of wanted to highlight that. Make sure you plump up these expense numbers in your calculations.
mhm, and that's
Um,
pretty much something we have to tell all of our clients when we're working with them on their, doing their property analysis because they just
mhm.
don't even expect it to be that high either, you
Oh
know?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of a shocker.
Yeah, it's wild. I know I've been kind of cranky about it this year, but I
Mhm,
guess it's expected when you think about it.
yeah,
And then so utilities. So this client, he's gonna pay for all the utilities out of
mhm,
pocket, and he's kind of baked it into his rates up here. I
yes,
think for House Hacker, that just keeps it clean. That way you don't have to, hey, you owe me, you took an extra
Yeah.
long shower, you owe me another $20. Like, no, just bake it into everything and
Yeah.
call it a day. And then he's providing Wi-Fi for the home. And then for this last line item down here, we just wanted to back it out. So as you can see, there's a PMI number right here. Since he got a VA loan, he does not have to pay PMI. So we just kind of backed it out just to kind of keep the numbers a little bit cleaner for everyone to see on that.
Yes.
So he's all in for, with our assumed cost to add that 5th bedroom, all in for about $10K. And his expected annual rental income is just shy of $40,000 while he's living there. And total annual expenses is about $10,000. And so even with his mortgage payment is, $2,600 plus escrow for his taxes and insurance. But that's calculated up in the annual expenses down here. His annual cash flow before taxes is negative $4,000. So while he's living there, he's paying about $350 a month out of pocket. And he put down $10,000 total. That's an extremely good return, if you ask me. So that's pretty phenomenal to live in this area in a nice home for $350 a month, and only putting down $10,000. And then eventually, once he gets orders to move elsewhere, he's going to rent out that other bedroom and he'll be cash flowing.
Yes. I know.
That's
I'm so
amazing
happy for him. Yeah. Especially because when we started talking to him, he's like, I just came across this house hacking thing like a week ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so, it's just so cool how it worked out. And we got him the house on time, like closed on the day he needed to close. So everything just worked out. It was a little scary with the government shutdown looming. Remember we had a little freak out.
Yeah. But thank
so.
goodness, kind of kicked that can down the road for a month and a half. So
so I think that was
really to close.
The only scare that we had during the transaction. But and I think the appraisal came in higher too. I think it was like 2,000 or 3,000 higher than what we offered. So that's awesome too.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah. What a nice little icing on top for him.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, congratulations to you and the client for pulling this one off. Like you mentioned, I'm so glad that he came across this concept, because now he's just setting himself up for just phenomenal success. So I'm very, very excited for him and seeing how this one turns out for him in the future. And thanks so much for coming on and teaching us about this deal. And like you said, this closed in the beginning of October. So to give everyone a time frame reference on that one.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on, Jenny.
Thanks, everyone.